sing a song tonight. Praise the Lord. Number 68 in the church hymnal. He'll take me through. Amen. Brother Jesse, help me out. Everybody, let's stand. Now, we've sung this a couple times, a little fast, but we may drag it, so we'll get through. Amen. This crowd here tonight, Lord, be able to knock the windows out. Amen. All right. Number 68.
Our Father, we do thank you. We give you the praise and the honor for every
everything, Lord, that you do in our life. And Lord, in the lives of others. Lord, thank you that, Father, you use us. Lord, we're available, always want to be available, Lord, for your service. Now, Lord, bless the service tonight. Lord, already our hearts have been blessed with that wonderful song, He'll Take Me Through. I'm glad, Lord, I'm not going to be left behind, but Lord, you're going to take me in one day. Amen. Lord, when this thing is over with. Lord, bless the service tonight. Bless Brother Eddie, Lord, our pastor. We love him. Thank you, Father, for everyone that's here tonight. Yes, touch hearts, Lord. Encourage us in the Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. All right, let's see, brother. Let's sing 120. I've got that old-time religion in my heart. 120. Amen. Amen. 120.
Let's see, what was it? Mandatory children's ministry meeting in Brother Warren's classroom, I believe, after church is mandatory. So if you're involved in the children's ministry, you have to be there. Amen. What else was there? You haven't got your Honey Baked Ham gift card, get with Miss Vanessa, and the youth choir singing Tuesday at Pine Valley, leaving the church at 6. Remember to smile through the service to help.
God help us. That was Brother Eddie's idea. All you know. Amen. I want to give you some good news this evening. We thank the Lord for Brother Chris getting in yesterday. It's actually Miss Laney's dad. Thank the Lord. I mean, it was just a wonderful to see his face this morning.
Yes, sir.
Miss Jennifer's been visiting about a month, and she was raised Lutheran. And I love it when people feel comfortable just to interrupt the service, say, can I take care of business right now? Amen. So we thank the Lord for saving Miss Jennifer. And Caleb called me this afternoon. And I'm going to try to get through this without being all tore up.
Amen, brother.
Our first trip out there was in 2009. The church started in 2012. And you guys know all the difficulty they've been through. Well, yesterday or this morning, they had 70 people in church. There are 12 visitors. And so I asked him, I said, one thing you haven't mentioned to me is how many people have you had come since we did all that visiting. We knocked on about 4,000 doors, but we didn't talk to that many people that were not there. But they actually have two families. That's one, Carlos, is one that's stuck, and another family is actually still coming from that visitation back in June. And had the Lord done all this probably 5 years ago, it wouldn't be as sweet as it is right now. And I want to thank y'all for your support.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Brother Freddie. Yeah, I talked to Caleb this afternoon. He was more than excited. He was elated. He said, I had 70 people today. He was having a time. Amen. So that is a blessing. Also, they were able to do, forgot what he called them. They fed 8 families Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving in a box, that's what they called it. So they were able to take stuff for Thanksgiving to 8 families. Yes, that's big. That's right. And I thought it was awesome. So y'all keep them in your prayers. And just pray the Lord's fixing to stir them people up in that town. Amen. Oh, praise the Lord for that. Again, thank God for the one saved this morning. Man, I told everybody about it I talked to today. Been a long time since I had somebody come to the platform and say, can I get saved right now? Or do I need to wait? I can get saved right now. Amen. I don't care if we're making an announcement. You can get saved right now. Praise the Lord for that. Amen. And boy, it was. I've been having a burden for Miss Laney's dad. Oh man, I pray for him every day this week. And then just to hear him get saved yesterday, that's a blessing. Amen. God's good and He's still on the throne. Amen. Listen, I want to make a deal with you. Tuesday night. Of course, we got Bible class tomorrow night. It starts at 6:30. And then Brother Charles is class and Brother Freddie's. But Tuesday night, our youth choir is going to the Pine Valley Baptist Church. That used to be Maranatha, right there on the corner of Pine Valley Road in Highland, right there on 92. That's close. It's not far away. And what I want to see is what kind of support we can get from our church. And if we get enough support and enough help, I'd like for the big choir to sing and sing Behold Our God. That'd be a blessing, wouldn't it? That'd be enough help right there. That'd be a blessing, wouldn't it? But what I'm saying, what I want to know is if we can get enough support to go Tuesday night. Several people have asked me about moving our midweek service this week because of Thanksgiving, moving it to Tuesday night, which I think every church in the country is doing. And I don't have a problem with that, except we ain't going to be here Tuesday night. But here's what I want to see. How many of you, if you'll promise, and be faithful to your promise, if we get a good turnout Tuesday night, I'll cancel the service Wednesday night. So you ladies can burn the turkeys or whatever. How many of you will show up Tuesday night? That ain't enough. That ain't enough. Put some pressure on, let's see. That ain't enough. Miss Sherry, raise his hand. Oh, you won't be here. Okay, that's the only reason. That's the only way you get out. Okay. Tuesday night, listen, the youth choir leaving here, the bus is at 6. And then the service over there is at 7. So show up a few minutes early, okay? And we'll just go meet Brother Darrell Hayes is preaching. I love Brother Darrell. Man, he's just as old school as they come. I love that old preacher, man. He's a blessing. So let's show up. Let's back our kids, amen. And then we'll Lord willing, we'll be able to sing the whole our God to get our adult choir to show up, amen. So don't forget, I'm excited, man. That's gonna be a good deal, amen. All right, let's have our ushers. Yes, ma'am. Today is the 6th. Stand up right there. Go. 16 today. Happy birthday. Before all the guys get up here, I want to mention something else. Harley, come here.
Yes, amen. Yes.
Brother Harley turned 11 on Saturday. 11 years old. Brother Tommy was telling me about it this morning in the office, and my mind just went back
Yes, sir. Amen.
to a little waiting room at Kennestone Hospital with a worried grandmother and a worried granddaddy when they had to go in and take Harley early because Mama was so sick. Here you go. Thank God, good. We have so much to rejoice in. God's been so very good. Let's bow our heads and ask the Lord to bless all tonight. Brother John, why don't you pray and ask the Lord to bless all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, Lord, for another opportunity to come into your house and worship you, Lord. We pray that you be with our pastor, just anoint him as he brings the word, Lord. Be with this offering, Lord. Multiply it to feed your needs, supply your needs, Lord, of the church. In Jesus' precious name I pray. Amen. Amen.
Getting better and better and better on that fiddle, amen. Praise the Lord. Appreciate our musicians. Let's have a youth choir. Come on, kids, let's sing with you.
just been a bless. Like I've been blessed for the past few weeks.
Yeah.
I turned 23 last Thursday. And it was the first time I've been sober for a birthday since I was 17. My birthday with my church and my family, and we made a surprise birthday party at Red Lobster, and it was just a blessing. Jesse got up and said something, and I just started crying because I really have never had that done for me because the actions that I used to do and the things I used to do. So it's just a blessing to see what God can do in someone's life once they change it. And my grandmother prayed for y'all for months. She prayed for God to just bring a ton of people into my life that could just make me happy, bring joy to my heart. And it's not just y'all that bring joy to my heart, it's God. And that's all it is. And it's just a joy to just be around y'all. I just love y'all.
Together
tell you what, while we're praying, to that first verse, are you going to sing it next? Sing that first verse. In the sight of God. Tiny, tiny, tiny. As small as we are. Hallelujah. I love that part. He picks me up. Wipes off my sin. Puts me on my feet again. Amen. Let's stand to our feet. Kids, you come down. Turn around, shake somebody's hand. Tell them it's good to see them in church tonight. pretty good. Jason, what is that? Is that like maybe? All right, that's just about everybody. If y'all do that, you know service Wednesday night. Amen. But listen, let's make up for it Tuesday night. Let's go to the meeting. Amen. Amen. Hey, that'll encourage that church. I love them folks, man. That'll encourage them. Just to see the place full will encourage you. Amen. And just to have the choir, man, especially if we get the whole crowd and do the whole night long. Hey, that's what we want to do. We want to be a blessing. Amen. Amen. I don't know what they're going to sing, but let's just worship a little bit tonight. Let's point that baby. Yeah, we'll have her sign. Amen. All right. Let's mind the Lord. Let's y'all go.
As I look back on this road I've traveled, I've seen so many times He's carried me through.
even when we're not. He still is. Amen. Well, that's good to see him. Luke chapter number 7 tonight. I know we've got a pretty lengthy meeting after church. Let me say again, this is not a come if you can. This is mandatory. If you work in children's ministry in any way, that means if you keep the nursery, work the bus route, children's church, junior church, teen church, whatever the case, if you work in the children's ministry in any way, we need you to stay just for a few minutes. Do our best not to keep you long and just give you some things that we kind of need to go by. So anyway, I'm going to try to preach quick tonight. And I want to look at Luke chapter number 7 and just a few verses and a simple little thought that we ought not have to be reminded of or told about.
Amen.
And that's the fact that we ought to have an attitude of gratitude.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. Thursday's Thanksgiving. We talked about that this morning. And I talked about this morning how we ought to be as Christians. We ought to just thank God for Him. Amen. You thank God for all the stuff when you wouldn't have it without Him. Amen. We'll just thank our God for who He is and what He is. Amen. Tonight I want you to look at Luke chapter number 7. And we're going to look at a couple of people tonight. One who is very appreciative and one who is very arrogant. And in these people, these two people, I see the same two types of people in church every week. There are those people who are truly appreciative, and then there are those people who are just truly arrogant. I hate arrogance. And so does the Lord. If we're not careful, we can all be that way from time to time. Every one of them. How many of you like to get around arrogant people? Y'all know what I'm talking about, arrogant? Got their nose stuck in the air. They're better than everybody else. And looking down their nose, they seem like everybody's beneath them. But boy, to get around somebody who's truly appreciative. Every year I get a phone call. I don't know the exact date. But once a year my phone will ring. And it'll be Dr. Randy Pike. I don't know how many years, Brother Charles, it's been since Sister Adine had her aneurysm. Probably 15. There in that neighborhood, would you say? Probably that long, close to it. 15 or so years ago, we had a missions conference. Brother Randy and Miss Adine were here. Brother Randy was preaching our missions conference. They were staying in the hotel up here in Villa Rica. But my phone rang in the middle of the night. It was Brother Randy. He was crying. He said, "Brother Eddie, come quick. Something's wrong with my wife." He got to the hotel. She was vomiting uncontrollably, and her head was bursting, just in pain. Rushed her to the hospital. They took her from here to somewhere in Atlanta, I'm trying to remember. And Floyd, that's exactly right. She had a brain aneurysm. Every year on the anniversary, Brother Charles, of that brain aneurysm, Brother Randy will call me. And it's a sincere call. He's in tears every time. And he'll say, "Brother Eddie, Brother Randy, just want to thank you for how you loved us. One of the hardest days of our life." After all these years, he'll still call. You know what that is? That's appreciation. Amen. And we didn't do anything except be there. Well, we really did nothing. By the time I got to the hotel, the paramedics were there and the medical people, and they did all the work. Of course, the Lord had His hand right smack dab in the middle of it. Amen. God knew that Brother Randy was going to need her.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
When you go through a tragic time like that, you never forget the faces of the people who were there. And he calls every year. That's real appreciation. And you and I have come through some pretty tough stuff as a church, some of us together.
Amen.
Every one of you that are saved, the darkest night or the darkest hour of your life, and you realize you're dying and going to hell.
That's right.
And the Lord showed up in the midst of your situation and saved your hide, did He not? Amen. We ought to be appreciative
appreciative instead of arrogant. Amen. I preach in a lot of churches, and I see a lot of people, a lot of different cultures. Y'all don't realize it, or you may not realize it, but there's different cultures just in the United States. And you go out west, the people are different. Doesn't mean they're wrong. They're different. You get in the Midwest, they're different. You get down South Louisiana, that's another country. Right? You get up North Carolina and Virginia, Brother Jerry, them people different. Amen. What I'm trying to say is I preach to a lot of different people, and everywhere it goes, even though their culture may change, their attitudes doesn't. There'll be people weeping in the service and praising God. Why? Because they're appreciative of what God's done in their life. Amen. But then there are those, Brother Freddie, who's been saved a little while, and they sit there with their arms crossed. Amen. Like they deserve everything they got. Amen. We better watch arrogancy in our Christian life. Amen. Even you preacher boys, when you get up and preach and you have to preach against sin, you ought to do that with a broken heart. Amen. Y'all okay? You ever heard anybody preach about people dying and going to hell, and they sounded like they were glad about it? Yeah. We ought to have an attitude of gratitude. How many of you glad you saved tonight? Amen. Y'all must be too tired. I said, how many of you glad you saved tonight? We ought to have an attitude of gratitude of what God has done in our life. Not come in here looking down our nose at maybe somebody who just got saved and they don't know all the verbiage of the Baptist. Are y'all okay? They haven't learned your language yet, and maybe they don't know exactly how to dress and exactly how to talk and exactly how to walk. Hey, remember when you first got saved? Two people I want to look at in the story tonight. We talked about Brother Randy and his appreciation, true appreciation. And then there's the story we always tell about buying the kid the brand new bicycle, spending money that we did not have, and then only to put the car in reverse and feel something crumble under your back tire.
Yeah.
To buy the brand new $100 Nike ball glove. To come home and see the dog laying in the yard having a blast. And you want to take the ball glove and beat the kid, not the dog. Amen. Because they don't think no more of what you've done for them. Are we okay? I think we do the same thing with our salvation. We leave it in the yard for the car to back over.
Right. Yeah. Amen.
We leave it in the yard for the dog to chew on.
Amen. Come on, brother.
When it's something we ought to treasure because it costs heaven everything.
Amen.
Well, I got to read some scripture right quick. Luke chapter number 7, look at verse number 36. The Bible said, and one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him. And he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat. And behold, a woman in the city, watch this, which was a
Sinner.
said, behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, when she knew that Jesus sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment, and stood at his feet behind him weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, and anointed them with the ointment. Now when the Pharisee, which had bidden him, saw it, he spake within himself, saying, this man, if he were a prophet, would have known who and what manner of woman this is that toucheth him. For she is a sinner. Like he's not, right? Now watch this. Verse number 40 just amazes me. Because in verse number 39, the Bible said he spoke where? Within himself. He was just thinking. Not out loud. He didn't say it verbally. But Jesus heard him loud and clear.
Verse number 40, Jesus answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. And he saith, Master, say on. He said, there was a certain creditor which had 2 debtors. The one owed 500 pence and the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me therefore, which of them will love him the most? Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave most. And he said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged. Then he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I entered into thine house, and thou gavest me no water for my feet. But she hath washed my feet with tears, and wiped them with the hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss, but this woman, since the time I came in, hath not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with ointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven. For she loved much. But to whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. And he said unto her, Thy sins are forgiven. And they sat at meat with him, and began to say within themselves, Who is this that forgiveth sins also? And he said to the woman, Thy faith hath saved thee. Go in peace. Wow. 2 totally different people in this story. Would you agree? There is an appreciative sinner and an arrogant Pharisee.
That's right.
You see, arrogancy never admits what it is. Arrogancy never takes a true look within, but loves to examine the lives of everybody else. Arrogancy is never honest with itself. Oh, it'll tell you everybody else's fault, but it will not tell you its own. Would you agree? So I want to look at the people in this story. The people in this story, there's 2 of them. There's a repentant sinner, and there's a self-righteous Pharisee. There's a repentant sinner and a self-righteous Pharisee. I don't ever want a Pharisaical kind of church, where we look at everybody funny who comes in the door. I was preaching in a little country church a while back. I'm talking about off the beaten path, not downtown. I'm talking about a country church. And during the day, while I was in the area, I went into a sporting goods store and I invited a fella to the meeting. He showed up. And when he showed up, Brother Charles, I was so embarrassed. I invited the man, and he was my guest. Nobody in that church knew the man. He knew nobody in the church. I just met him in a sporting goods store. And he showed up right by himself. He wasn't dressed ragged, but he wasn't dressed right for church. What we would say. Are you listening? Matter of fact, he had on camouflage. Looked like he ought to have been in a deer stand instead of a church pew. Well, that old boy walked in the door, and everybody in that place, I could have crawled under the chair where I sat. Everybody in that place turned and looked at this dear man. And then started to whisper.
Oh my goodness.
How do you think that old boy felt? They sang a few songs, took up the offering, and had fellowship. As far as I could tell, not one person in that church went to that man and welcomed him. Not one. Only the visiting evangelist. How hard. It was kind of like this man who invited Jesus into his house, and this woman who is a sinner
3 times in this story, Brother Charles, it mentions the fact that she was a sinner. She comes into the house, and I imagine the eyes were upon her. I imagine the whispering went on. This Pharisee even thought within himself, what in the world is she doing here? If he was really a prophet, he'd know what kind of woman she was.
Right.
You know what that fellow said to me after church? I thanked him for coming. He said, man, I appreciate you inviting me. He said, if you was the preacher here, I'd come. He said, I need to get in church, but it won't be this one.
Oh.
You know what I did the next morning at breakfast? I rehearsed the whole story to the pastor.
Amen.
I said, now I'm your evangelist, and it ain't my job. I said, you need to skim their hide.
Amen.
I don't want anybody to ever leave here, Micaiah, and say, man, those people stared at me like I was from Mars. And I know we've got a pretty good reputation that anybody that comes is welcome. Amen. Amen. Red, yellow, black, or white, it don't matter. I don't care what kind of track size of the tracks they come from. Don't matter to me. I don't care if they're tatted up and got piercings. Don't bother me. Let them come. Amen. Y'all remember the Sunday I had the biker guy come in and sit right there where you are, brother, on the front row with the do-rag on his head? Y'all remember that? I did my best to make that man feel welcome. Y'all remember when Moses came, the man with the big beard and the staff that was about that tall? Sister Stacy sat right there where Jack's at and propped on his big old staff that he carried. Y'all remember that guy? Strange cat. I'm here to tell you. Everybody pointing at each other. Just because they ain't like you. Just because they don't have your background. Doesn't mean God doesn't love them. Let me tell you who got the biggest blessing out of these two. The one the people thought the least of. Can I say that again?
Yeah.
You're so busy sometime wrapped up in yourself that you'll miss the blessing in somebody who's humble enough to know they need it, they'll get it. And God will pass right over you. Because to hear you tell it, you don't need nothing.
Come on, brother.
The people in the story. There is a self-righteous Pharisee. Be careful about judging. I could go around this room and remind some of you where you were before God got hold of you. I know some of you have been in church all your life. Now that is a blessing whether you realize it or not. But to you ought to be careful. Just because you've never been out in the world of sin doesn't mean you're never a sinner. When you see people who've lived a rough life and they come out of a life of alcohol or drugs or whatever the case may be, you see them come in. Instead of judging them, you ought to thank God 10,000 times that you had to have a walk with that. You ought to thank God you have mom and daddy. Saw to it you went to Sunday school. Saw to it you was in a youth choir. Hallelujah, somebody. Kind of like going to school in the 70s. And all the privileged kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Anybody go to school with rich kids size me? They had the latest everything. I remember when the digital watch came out. I remember when it happened. I remember the first handheld video game came out. All the rich kids had it. I remember when the first Nike tennis shoes came out. All the rich kids got it. But those rich kids who were privileged, they tend to look down their nose.
Yeah.
at people just because they didn't have on the most popular shoes or the most popular jeans. I remember when it was Jordache.
Oh, yeah.
I would have put on a pair of them sissy flat if they gave them to me. Amen. That was the skinny jeans of my day. Amen. We had a choice word for boys who wore Jordache.
Amen. Come on.
Help me, Brother Thomas. Amen. Most every one of us have experienced that, except for you who grew up privileged. And had the brand new stuff. Are you listening? But I think it's the same in Christianity. We've got the crowd that's always been there. Mom and Daddy's faith. Maybe teaching a Sunday school class, singing in the choir.
Right.
Maybe you've never lived in the trailer park with them bus kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe you've never had to pray for your daddy who's in prison.
Get right there.
Y'all okay? That does not make you better. I'll say it again, that does not make you better. It makes you blessed. That's right.
Great.
Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
The people in the story, there's a self-righteous Pharisee. I didn't mean to get hung up there so long. I just want to say, be careful. Be careful. Now listen, if we're not careful, we'll swing the pendulum too far to the left and say, anybody and everybody's welcome. And that's true. That's true. We want them to come like they are, but we want them to leave different than we came.
That's right.
This is not an anything goes church.
Right.
I just thought I'd throw that in. We said again, it's not an anything goes church. Anybody's welcome. I want anybody to come. Are y'all all right?
Yeah.
But the idea is they come and get hold of Jesus.
Amen.
It's not the church becoming like the world.
That's right. That's right.
Just thought I'd just throw that in. We're still against sin. Amen?
Amen.
Well, self-righteous Pharisees, be careful.
Amen.
Be careful. When you see somebody who lived a little rougher life than what you're accustomed to, you ought to just stop and thank God.
Yes, sir.
And I don't mean like that Pharisee that went in the temple to pray and said, oh, I thank you that I'm not like this other man. I'm not talking about that way.
Amen.
I may never get past this, Brother Charles. I'm not talking about that kind of prayer.
Amen.
I'm talking about thank you, Lord, for mom and daddy.
Amen.
Who took me to church. Thank you, Lord, for mom and daddy who stayed together and didn't get divorced.
Amen.
Thank you, Lord, for allowing me to learn the truth from a very young age. Thank you, Lord, for not letting me get hooked on drugs. Or out in a wicked life of sin. Don't you think for 1 second you're better.
Amen.
And if you do, I hope the one you're judging grows up and becomes your pastor. I hope he gets saved, called to preach, and your daughter married. Amen. I believe God has privileged us. And He's helped us to have a pretty good attitude towards sin. You say, well, why are you preaching it? Preventative medicine. My mother was out delivering Avon the other day, and she called. I just had to dial phone with her. Just had hung up, and it started ringing in. Mom, I said, what did she forget? I knew she forgot something. And she said she just passed the church. I believe it was on Depot Road. She passed the church and said they had a mailbox out front. I'm like, what hell? She said, but it wasn't a regular mailbox. She said it was in the churchyard. And it had a sign on it that said prayer request. And I thought, man, what an awesome idea. How cool. People just come by and put a prayer request. And I got thinking about what we were talking. I said, Mom, if we put one of them out, all we would get was people more money. That's true. I need $1,000. I'm glad that crowd's drawn to us.
Amen.
Sin. Say it again, sin. Such for some of you.
Amen.
The other person in this story was just so humbled to be in his presence that she couldn't do nothing but fall at his feet.
Amen.
Now listen, watch this now. If you look at your story, she washed his feet.
Yeah.
Washed them. Now, if you're going to wash somebody's feet, it's going to take a little bit of water. Would you agree? Somebody who's been wearing sandals all day and walking in the hot sand and sandy streets of town, I'd say it's going to take a good bit of water.
Yes, sir.
She didn't draw it from the well. It poured from her eyes. The Bible says she washed his feet with her tears. Wiped it with her hair.
Amen.
All I can see in that picture is a picture of total humility.
Amen.
Total humility before a holy God. There she is, Brother Charles, one of the most precious things I think recorded done by any human being to this day. I can't think of anything more precious. She's weeping so uncontrollably that it's enough to wash the dust off his feet.
Yeah.
That's how broken she is. But yet there's the first, there's the church member. How bad. Well, he had any idea who she was. Lord, give us that first attitude. Give us that attitude of a repentant sinner. Are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Some of you have been saved a long time, but your biggest problem is you've gotten over it. It still ought to fire us up to think about our sins and forgive them. Yeah. I know this is very elementary, but you've gotten over it.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since you've wept. You couldn't wash a speck of dirt off his feet. In a sense, Brother Dylan, aren't we doing the same thing when we come before God on this altar with tears and weeping before Him? We're bowing where? At His feet.
Amen.
We have the same opportunity, service after service, that she did as she went into that house of that Pharisee, where she probably wasn't even really welcome. The people in the story, there's a repentant sinner. We ought to always have it. By the way, if you're saved, that's what you are.
Amen.
If you're saved, that's what you are. You are a repentant sinner. You're a sinner saved by grace. The people in the story. And then there's the parable that he gives to this Pharisee. The Pharisee thought within himself, the Bible said, or he said within himself, man, if he was really a prophet, he'd know what kind of woman. She's a sinner. Oh, man, she's a sinner. I just think that's hilarious. The pot is calling the kettle black. Like, she's wicked, but I'm not. And Jesus reads the man's mind. And he said, Simon, old boy, I got something to say to you. There was times when Jesus was just merciful and kind, but there was times he was blunt as an axe. Simon, I got something to say to you. In other words, you pay attention to me, boy. He said, I'm going to tell you a little story. He said, there's two folks that owed their master money. One 500 and one 50. And when they couldn't pay, he gave them both their debt. Say it's dollars, $500 and $50. Yeah. He said, now which one do you think was the most appreciative? Old Pharisee thought about it. He said, I reckon the one who was forgiven the most. Yeah.
And Jesus said, you're right about it.
Yes.
You're right about it. I came in this house and you didn't offer me no water.
Yeah.
You didn't even offer me nothing to drink.
Sure.
Pharisee wasn't there for fellowship.
Amen.
You're right.
Say it again. The Pharisee wasn't there for fellowship. And the Pharisee doesn't come to church for fellowship either.
Amen. Come on,
The
brother.
Pharisee is always there to find fault.
Amen.
The Pharisee is always there to see what's wrong with this picture. If he was really a prophet.
Right.
Always seeking to trip him up. Are you listening? He said, you didn't offer me no water. But she washed her feet with her tears. You didn't anoint my head, but she anointed my feet with oil. The parable is the one who is forgiven the most. Is the one who is the most appreciated. Sometimes I wonder if people aren't so arrogant because they really don't know. I'm being careful. I'm not in the recapping business. I don't want people to get saved over and over and over again. But I believe if you're really saved, you appreciate it. I'm not in the job of doubting people's salvation, but you wonder. When these people, that's all they do is cause trouble and point fingers and accuse this one and accuse that one, makes you wonder if they even know Jesus. When people who are truly sinners get born again, generally they're just thankful people. They're kind of like Peter was up on the Mount of Transfiguration. Man, it's just good to be here. Amen. Where'd Drew go? Right here in front of me. Old Drew testified, called me Thursday. Brother Eddie, I just want you to know it's my birthday and I'm sober. Testified in that choir tonight and said, thank y'all for loving me. Thank you for giving me a place. You know what that is? That's an appreciative spirit. That's one who has been forgiven much. Just glad to be here. Just glad to be here. I ain't got to be in charge of nothing. I'm just glad to be here. I ain't got to be able to tell nobody what to do. I'm just glad I ain't going to hell. Are you listening? Don't ever lose that. Been in church all my life when I got saved.
Right.
Walked into church that first Sunday morning, sat down on the pew, and cried from the first hymn till they dismissed.
That's right.
Because I sat there, Brother Charles, and thought about all the years I'd taken that for granted. All the years God had been right there. The whole time. And I lived my whole life without it. And I thought about what I missed. I sat there and thought about how good it was. Just to be.
Amen.
I remember Brother Philip was here this morning, he's not here tonight. I remember taking some CDs, Brother Charles, over to Miss Kay Paul. Kay was a sight.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, she was a sight. I loved her. Love Miss Kay. I took CDs. She wanted preaching CDs. I took them over there to her house. And I'll never forget, she's sitting on her little sofa there in the living room. And I knelt down and I said, Miss Kay, I brought you some CDs. And she stood there holding them CDs, little hands and just shaking. And she began to cry and her tears were falling. I can see it right now. And she said, Brother Ed, thank you. But it ain't the same.
Oh, no.
She said, oh, if I could just come to church. Something we take for granted.
Amen, brother.
When's the last time you just been glad? You get to the place where you're just glad to be here, nothing else matters. It don't matter who gets to sing the special part of the choir. It don't matter who gets asked to testify. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
It don't matter who had the most on their bus. You was glad to be here.
Amen.
You know what I think about this little lady? I think she was oblivious to anything going on around.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think she gave a whiff what the Pharisees are. She knew going in. Don't you matter? I ain't going to that church. They think they're better than everybody. You get to want him bad enough, you will.
Amen, brother.
Because we always going to have a Pharisee or two. No matter how hard I preach against him. There's always going to be some with a judgmental spirit. Y'all okay?
Amen, brother.
There always going to be anywhere you go. Matter of
That's
fact.
right. Amen.
I believe most places worse than this one. Unless you just go to a full-blown, what do you call them? Charismatic, super church, none, whatever. And then you ain't going to get no Bible.
Amen to that.
Oblivious. But that little lady, was her name Jim? Sitting right there about where you are tonight. When she got up here and walked up here, she knew it wasn't time.
Yeah.
She knew it wasn't the appropriate time. But he was here, and that's all that mattered. She had a visitor this morning who sat down in the pew with her and began to tug at her heart. And she said, I don't know if that's appropriate, but I'm ready to go get some foot washing. And she come down in the middle of the choir singing at the inappropriate time, Brother Charles. And she looked at the pastor and said, come here. Should I get saved now, or do I got to wait for the evening? I said, hallelujah. Interrupt the apple cart. You can do it right now. She didn't care what nobody thought. Lord, help us keep that attitude. The parable was this. The one who had been forgiven the most was the most appreciated. We need to remember what we've been forgiven. We sing the song, what sins are you talking about, for I don't remember them anymore. I know he's forgotten, but you need to remember.
That's right.
I'm not talking about living in the past. I'm not talking about digging up bones. I'm talking about remembering what he brought you from.
Amen.
David said he cried up out of a horrible pit, and the Lord, he remembered the pit. Said he heard my cry. Are you listening? We need to remember. He said, well, I've been in church all my life. Well, good for you, goody two-shoes. I put it to you real good and straight. Most of the junk I did growing up was at church.
Amen.
So I didn't get to go nowhere else. We lived at White Oak Springs. I can tell you never. Just because you grew up in church doesn't make you all that special. Matter of fact, it has an ability to make you worse.
Right.
I'm not saying go out and live a life of wickedness so you can be appreciative. It shouldn't work that way. But we don't need to ever forget what God did in our heart when we saved us.
Amen.
It'll help you keep a right spirit. Here's the point. The people, the parable, the point. I'm done. Here's the point of the whole story. The Pharisee had not sought for nor received forgiveness of his sins. Therefore he showed no sign of his guilt. Why was the Pharisee not wicked? Just consider it for a second. Why was he not borrowing his Bible in the presence of the Son of God? Could it be he had nothing weak for? Could it be he was just as wicked as he always was? Could it be he had zero relationship with Jesus? Therefore, he had nothing to move him emotionally to tears. I know a Christian is capable of anything. But when I see people who live constantly with a bad spirit and a foul attitude, never thankful, never appreciative, I've got to wonder, Brother Freddie, if they know it.
Yeah.
If I live with that kind of spirit and that kind of attitude, I'd check up.
Amen.
Hey, you can get assurance of your salvation.
Amen.
I know you can get so far away from God, you can live any old kind of way. But I know this. The Lord won't let me live like it. Let me say it again. The Lord won't let me get away with it.
Amen.
I have bad thoughts about somebody who gets on me.
Yeah. Amen.
I was thinking about a fellow the other day and I thought, never mind. It was bad. I should have thought it, but I did. And the Holy Ghost crawled up in my lap. I thought he was going to make me go apologize. I really did. And the Lord finally gave me peace. I guess he knew I was really sorry. I shouldn't have thought it. But the point is, the Pharisee, he didn't have no worship for Jesus. He didn't have a relationship with him. You spend your life being judgmental and silent, mean. I don't check your relationship. Is that okay? I know it's Sunday night. And I thank God for you. And I thank God for the attitude you have toward people. I'm just saying, be careful.
Amen.
Don't become this guy.
That's right.
Good.
Don't become this guy. I'm fixing to quit, Brother Todd. You can come to the end. Next Sunday, I believe it is. Lexi, next Sunday?
Yes, sir.
Next Sunday, Lexi's going to graduate.
Amen.
It's going to be a big deal. I may just let her preach. She playing the other day. I get a joy out of watching people like that. She makes my day. I watch her week after week and she worships and she prays. Come to this altar 2 or 3 times in the service. Don't ever lose that.
Amen.
Just shout and worship and praise the Lord. Don't ever lose that. Don't ever lose that. Don't ever forget where God brought you from. What He's done in your life. And those of you who don't act like her, shame them. We don't all act like that.
Yeah.
You say, boy, the Lord's done so much for her. So has He you.
Amen.
So has He me. We ought to all be in hell. Amen. Pharisee didn't have any appreciation because he hadn't got no forgiveness. The woman sought for and received forgiveness by faith. And she showed appreciation in her actions. An attitude of gratitude. She wasn't weak because she's afraid.
Right.
She's weak because she is just humbled to be in His presence.
Yes, sir.
And she could weep and wash His feet.
Yeah.
It wasn't an act of vulgarity, as some would paint it out to be. It was an act of humility and love for her Savior. Let's stand our feet tonight. The people of parable and point. I want to remain the sinner who's grateful that my sins are forgiven. Amen. Sing a verse if you got one every time, whatever you want to do. Just be obedient. to be dismissed. But before we do, I want to tell Miss Dawn Kennedy, where you at? There she is. Tell her how much I appreciate her. And the work they're doing with these girls on Friday night. Somebody was showing me, somebody sent to my wife pictures of the girls decorating cakes and things on, I believe it was this past Friday night. And I know that a lot of you ladies help, and I appreciate all of y'all that was Miss Dawn's burden to start that. And what a blessing. Somebody actually taking the time to teach our girls to be ladies. That's missing in America. That's missing in America. Amen. Share blessing William Lee. Several years ago, I gave Brother Joe Kelly. He got sick during the service and had to leave. But I gave Brother Joe some suits because he's my size. Ain't many people I can give my clothes to. But I give my clothes to Joe and to Devin, wherever Devin went. But Joe called me this afternoon. He said, "Preacher, you gave me a suit in 2011. That's been a little bit." He said, "I wore it today and I was headed home from church and I stuck my hand inside and I felt something in the pocket." He said it was one of them things from a funeral home, one of them memorial cards. He said it was for Miss Patricia Bush. He said, "You did her funeral in August of 2011. He said, "But I opened that thing up, there's an envelope inside." He said, "In that envelope was a $100 bill." He said, "I'm bringing it to you tonight." I said, "Hallelujah, brother." So I said all that to say this: if I've ever given you a jacket, when you get home, check it. You're real good. Amen. Hallelujah. Oh, Joe could have kept that and never said a word. Isn't that a blessing? Amen. I should have gave it back to him for cough medicine. He's coughing his head out. Amen. Anyway, listen, we do have our children's ministry meeting upstairs, Brother Warren's class. We're going to make that as brief as possible. Where is Brother Warren? What do we do with the kids that are in the nursery? Yeah, probably need to go get it. I can tell you that for sure because my wife's keeping the nursery. The patience ain't what it used to be. Amen. So go get your kids and then listen, don't linger in fellowship. Let's get upstairs, let's take care of business. Listen, we're not having an open discussion up here tonight. It's going to take forever. We're going to give you some instruction and that's it, okay? So everybody's involved in the children's ministry upstairs. Love you guys. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock.